Hi everyone, today we're going to roll our lower legs, back, front, side, all the way around. So let's get straight into it. For this you want a foam roller and a ball possibly for the front or even for the back. So I'll show you the alternatives. Now my foam roller here got little knobby bits on the top. If you've never foam rolled before and you are experiencing a bit of tightness and pains or whatever, you may want to go with one of the flat ones. They come in blue, usually Kmart and stuff like that, so they're fairly cheap. And they're quite soft, so they are not as harsh. This one you can work your way up to, and then you get ones that have quite peaked up knobby bits, whatever you want to call them. So in short, the harsher it looks, the harsher it usually is. So yeah, so this is still kind of soft as well. Usually the ones you can see in Rebel, they've got like a real pointy, tough knobs coming out. They're for people that like bodybuild and stuff and have a lot of mass to go into. Alright, so we're going to start with the roller on the back of our calves, and I might just go right on for this. Now, once you're a little bit advanced, just a little bit of information, you can get yourself a bigger ball like this. So this one is from Black Roll. They kind of specialize in foam rolling and have a lot of awesome products. And this ball is really, really good to use on the legs. Once you've gotten into it a bit more, you can pinpoint with that ball a little bit more what you're working on. But for a starting level, you want to be on your bum with a long leg, so using the hands for support. And we're going to start right on the ankle joint, or I like to start right on the ankle joint, right on the Achilles, and just push my leg into the roller and just wiggle from right to left. Changing the pressure by letting the foot flex and extend. And just roll from right to left. Applying some pressure, and then we're just moving on to the next bit. So whenever you foam ball, it should never be, since I'm pretty sure you're like in the spot there, it should not be something where you hold yourself up and then just do one of them here. Yeah, that can feel amazing, it can be very painful. However, that proprioception, so that feeling that you're getting, is not really doing a hell of a lot, okay? So all you want to really do instead is move from the bottom to the top, bit by bit, always creating some pressure, putting some pressure down, and creating a bit of shearing force. So wiggling back and forth, or try it in, in a rotational kind of way, up and down, right to left, and then move on to the next spot. Also, then you want to get into a bit of rotation as the calf muscle gets a bit bigger here. Also, you've got a bit more surface area to move through. So you can see how my hip is rotating fairly far in, so I can actually get around that whole muscle. Now, as you can see, I'm holding myself up here, so bumps off the floor, but that's simply to create a bit more pressure into the foam roller. So obviously the less weight I've got on the leg, the easier it is on with the force that's going into it. So I'm almost through, coming right to the top. Usually for me that's the most painful area though, getting closer to the knee. Getting a little bit of back and forth. So, there is no real rules, even though I'm kind of telling you how to do it. In the end, there's no other rules than to go slow, go with intent, search the tissue, and let the body tell you where it needs attention. Everything else, it's kind of just exploring. So whether you're rotating, whether you're wiggling, how much pressure you're applying, how long you're doing it for. Some experts will tell you that our bodies have like a threshold. So once they get to a certain point of relaxation or whatever it may be, like we have a threshold for everything, that's as far as it's going to get. Okay, so on some days you'll be rolling and rolling and rolling 5 minutes. If you do 10 minutes, it's not going to get you any further than what you were 5 minutes before. And you know, in the end, because as I said, like, it can feel really good, you can really get lost in this. So best if you're a bit time short, set yourself a timer and work with that. If you've got all the time in the world, then by all means go for it. It's not going to harm you, but it's not necessarily going to benefit you anyway. Okay, so that's the back of the calf. So as you can see, I was working right up just below the knee. Okay, once you get to the knee, you can work through the back of the knee as well, but for that I would definitely recommend just to stay on your bum and be very, very gentle, because that can be a bit of a tender area. And yeah, so you don't want to apply too much pressure. You don't want to go in there with a ball either, because yeah, the knee is, you know, a bit of a complex build. And yeah, so just nice and gentle, and that's all that we'll need. Now for the front, you can use either a ball or you can use the roller as well. So I'm going to show you the ball first. This is where you're simply going to get into about a 45-degree angle. So if you're feeling your leg, you've got a very bony part, you know, right coming up the leg here, and then you get a bit more of a squishy kind of muscly feeling through there before you get another bone on the side there, before you get your calf muscle on the back. So you want to obviously get from the bottom here, from the ankle joint, into that bit of muscle and apply pressure, and then just work your way up towards the knee. Now this is again a bit more of a beginner thing to do. So if you've never done foam rolling before, if you're not used to getting massages a hell of a lot, or you know, you don't know how this may feel, this is a good way to find your way into it. Gonna work your way up bit by bit, moving on. Press, wiggle, press, wiggle around. If you find a spot that's a bit tender, you can stay on that a bit longer, give it some bigger movements back and forth. You can go across that front bone here. Okay, so you can kind of move the tissue over the bone as long as it's gliding. Okay, you may find that that the tissue is tensed, that it's actually going to more like clunk over the bone, and that just doesn't feel nice. So I wouldn't force it. Okay, I'd rather than just stay on it, let it melt and let it soften first before you then start to kind of try and move things across and over. And again, we're just going to work all the way up just to under the knee. Now on the side of the knee here, that's, you've got the head of the tibia, so that's the other bone that's running along there. And for that you can then again get your ball, and just like you did on the ankle joint, if you've watched the last video before, you just work around that bone here and just open that area up, because the head should be slightly movable. So if you're finding that bone and you try and move it and it feels really stuck, this is definitely a good one for you to do. Now if you're using the roller, I'm going to do this on the other side, this can be a bit awkward as well, so hence the ball is not the worst idea. So you're going to go into a tabletop position with obviously the ankle you're going to work on the roller here, and you're going to again apply pressure and just kind of, I would like to work through that ankle first if I haven't worked the feet just before. And then obviously you want to try and get onto that 45 angle into that soft muscle there, which can be a bit of a challenge to start with. Also obviously the roller is going to work on a lot broader surface, as you can possibly see on my leg, even though I'm aiming, my intention is on that 45 degree, obviously it will be on the bone on that as well, so this can just be a little bit more intense. But in the end, if you can manage, if it's not too painful, not too sore, you then end up doing the same as what you did with the ball. You're just going to use your leg, use your hip to shimmy back and forth, up and down, and just sliding back, working your way up to the knee. So I hope you've kind of joined me on this. not. Otherwise, just go ahead and do it now or do it later. Again, getting all the way up to that knee, aiming to stay on that 45-degree angle. So you don't want your foot under your leg like this. You want to be able to see the heel of your foot as you roll through that muscle on the shins. Perfect. All right, and that's the lower legs done. Join me again for the next video for the thighs, back and front, and yeah, I think we do an extra one on the glutes. We'll see how we go on the day. All right, I'll see you then.